The stars were brighter than humanity had ever dreamed, with shimmering vessels passing through endless stretches of deep space stations. The Galactic Ascendancy opened itself for Earth's grand debut. Amid waves of hope, humanity arrived bearing gifts. Not the technological marvels or scientific innovations that usually impress their interstellar hosts, but something uniquely human: stories, drama, theater, and imagination. Ambassador Helena Lynn stood nervously, brushing her uniform, aware of the immense responsibility she carried. Behind her stretched a long hallway leading into the Galactic Council chamber. Golden doors towered at the entrance, etched with symbols from countless civilizations that had come before. Each symbol represented a member civilization, their historical deeds and cultural achievements immortalized in the shimmering metal. It was here that humanity would present its legacy, hoping to earn a place among these cosmic legends. Ambassador Lynn, came a warm voice from behind. She turned to see David Carver, Earth's cultural attaché, his trademark confident smile hiding anxiety. "Are we ready?" Helena took a deep breath and nodded. "As we'll ever be. We have one chance to show the galaxy who we really are. Let's hope they're ready for us." With a whisper, the doors opened, revealing the cavernous assembly hall. Hundreds of alien delegates filled the chamber, their eyes, some crystalline, others compound or purely energetic, turning curiously to observe Earth's delegation. Helena stepped forward, feeling both pride and pressure weighing heavily on her shoulders. "Members of the Galactic Ascendancy," she began, her voice amplified by subtle acoustic technologies embedded within the walls. "We are honored to stand among you. We come from Earth, a small world that has spent thousands of years crafting not only technologies and institutions, but also culture, a profound tapestry of storytelling, theater, music, and imagination." She gestured behind her, signaling the human delegation forward. Among them were actors, writers, musicians, and film directors, each celebrated on Earth but unknown to the aliens. They approached, confident yet respectful, ready to share humanity's greatest gift, their stories. Helena continued passionately. "For humanity, storytelling is our deepest heritage, the way we understand ourselves and connect to each other. Through stories, we explore possibilities, dream of other worlds, and express our fears and hopes. Storytelling has guided our civilization's moral compass, teaching us empathy and inspiring innovation." Murmurs and whispers spread across the audience. Some alien ambassadors exchanged skeptical glances, others leaned forward curiously. A tall, spindly-limbed delegate, Ambassador Qualon from the technologically advanced Lawrence Collective, raised a delicate appendage. "Ambassador Lin, forgive me," Qualon began softly, yet with biting undertones, "but storytelling, entertainment, what does that offer the Ascendancy? We deal in stellar management, quantum resource distribution, and galactic security. What use are stories to species who've evolved past primitive amusement?" Laughter trickled around the chamber, muted but unmistakably dismissive. Helena held her ground, forcing herself not to flinch. "Stories teach understanding. They allow us to imagine experiences beyond our own. Through drama and theater, humans master the subtle arts of persuasion, diplomacy, and deception. Perhaps these skills may yet be valuable." Ambassador Qualon emitted a slight humming noise, a gesture Helena recognized as skepticism from earlier briefings. "Perhaps," Qualon conceded diplomatically, "but the Ascendancy relies on practicality, logic, and tangible advancements. Your species will find this quickly enough. Welcome to the Galactic Ascendancy, Ambassador Lin, but please understand, we have moved beyond trivial amusements." As the formal presentations concluded, the human delegation found themselves politely sidelined. Representatives of other species approached, more out of curiosity than genuine interest, asking superficial questions, often tinged with condescension. Earth's culture, its creativity, passion, and art, seemed, to these galactic beings, little more than quaint distractions. Later, away from the council hall, Helena and David joined Earth's delegates in their quarters, frustration evident among the once hopeful artists and storytellers. "They didn't even try to understand," murmured Vincent Marks, a famed theater director from London. "Our entire history, everything we've struggled to achieve and represent, reduced to trivial amusements." "Not trivial," Helena countered. "Misunderstood, yes, but not trivial." David leaned forward, quietly firm. "Ambassador Lin is right. Humanity is new here. It'll take time for the Ascendancy to see our culture's true value." Helena sighed. "If only they'd give us a chance, truly listen, really see what storytelling means." Outside their quarters, the shimmering galactic metropolis stretched out infinitely, filled with towering structures and skyways busy with alien traffic. Against this backdrop, Earth's delegation felt small, perhaps insignificant. Yet Helena knew that within their culture lay something profoundly powerful, something she desperately wished others would understand. Over the weeks that followed, humans persisted. They staged performances, exhibitions, and storytelling sessions, hoping to reach someone, anyone, among their skeptical hosts. Some aliens did visit, bemused or politely curious, occasionally even amused. But for most, human art remained nothing more than a strange novelty, an eccentric footnote to Earth's ascension into the galaxy. Despite the lukewarm reception, Ambassador Lin remained determined. She understood humanity's power to adapt, persevere, and inspire, qualities shaped deeply by storytelling itself. Yet beneath the polite smiles and dismissive chuckles of the alien delegates, Helena sensed something deeper. A threat brewing, barely acknowledged, but increasingly obvious. The galaxy around them seemed complacent, proud of their scientific and technological prowess, but blind to certain realities. Humanity might be considered naive or primitive by the Ascendancy, but humans understood, while the darkness lurking behind pleasant facades, the hidden dramas quietly playing out behind masks of civility. After all, they'd been telling stories about such things since their civilization's dawn. Quietly, determinedly, humanity waited, confident their true worth would soon be revealed. The universe, after all, was the greatest storyteller of all, and Helena suspected it had quite a tale planned. Months passed, and the hopeful enthusiasm humanity initially carried into the Galactic Ascendancy faded into quiet disappointment. Though Earth's delegation remained resilient, the constant undercurrent of mockery slowly chipped away at their resolve. Despite Ambassador Helena Lin's best efforts, Earth's storytelling, theater, and drama continued to be viewed by most alien civilizations as a mere curiosity, at best quaint, at worst embarrassingly primitive. Each new event at the galactic capital seemed only to deepen this sentiment. Ambassadors from advanced technological empires would exchange polite smiles and thinly veiled sarcasm as Earth's representatives passionately explained classic works by Shakespeare, Sophocles, or modern cinematic masterpieces. Aliens whose civilizations had long since conquered stellar travel, quantum engineering, and even time manipulation found Earth's preoccupation with fictional narratives utterly perplexing. At one particularly unfortunate gala held in the glittering Grand Pavilion, Ambassador Lin attempted to bridge the growing divide. The hall was filled with dignitaries from countless civilizations, illuminated by gently floating crystal lanterns. It was an extravagant setting, designed for elegance and diplomacy. Helena, accompanied by David Carver and the famed actor Alexander Reeves, hoped to finally make their case. "You see," Helena explained earnestly to Ambassador Drell, an imposing, reptilian dignitary from the highly influential Grass Dominion. "Humans tell stories to understand ourselves better. Drama allows us to experience lives we haven't lived, to explore ideas and emotions safely." Drell, unimpressed and partially amused, blinked slowly, his vertical pupils contracting skeptically. "Ambassador Lin, what practical benefit is there in feeling emotions you haven't earned? Experiencing tragedy, joy, or fear through illusions seems pointless to us. Shouldn't civilization strive for efficiency and progress, rather than wasting effort simulating imaginary experiences. Nearby, Ambassador Qualon overheard and chuckled softly, leaning closer. Indeed, Ambassador Lin, this storytelling of yours seems designed merely to distract from reality, not to confront or improve it. Helena took a breath, carefully maintaining composure despite growing irritation. Storytelling doesn't distract from reality. It prepares us for it. Our dramas, plays, and novels teach empathy and caution, sharpen our intuition, and help us navigate life's subtleties. It's why we have diplomats, negotiators, and spies who understand deception and subtlety. At the mention of deception, Ambassador Drell clicked his tongue sharply. Deception is a dishonorable tool, Ambassador Lin. It's unworthy of advanced societies. True civilizations rely on transparency, logic, and integrity. Perhaps your people still have much to learn. Soft laughter rippled outward from the nearby delegates, each subtle chuckle feeling more cutting than outright ridicule. Ambassador Lin forced a diplomatic smile, holding back the stinging reply she wished desperately to voice. Alexandra Reeves stepped forward, confident and composed. Her voice resonated clearly through the space, charismatic yet unwavering. Ambassador's deception isn't necessarily dishonorable. It's simply a reality of intelligent existence. Everyone wears masks. Humans acknowledge this openly. Our stories reflect these truths, allowing us to recognize manipulation, dishonesty, or hidden intentions. Ignoring these realities leaves you vulnerable. A sudden, uncomfortable silence fell over the group. Ambassador Drell, clearly disturbed by Alexandra's bluntness, hissed softly, displeasure evident. Qualon studied Alexandra carefully before shaking his head dismissively. Such cynical perspectives are exactly what we expect from a primitive species, driven by suspicion rather than trust. Perhaps it is your fearful nature that makes your stories necessary, but it's hardly something to be proud of. The crowd began to disperse, conversations shifting away from Earth's delegation. Ambassador Lin felt a flush of humiliation rising. Alexandra offered an apologetic glance, but Helena shook her head, quietly grateful for the actor's courage. Humanity could not abandon what made them unique simply because it was inconvenient to others. But the mockery grew more overt with each passing day. At council sessions, even subtle references to Earth's culture would provoke soft laughter, and ambassadors exchanged amused looks whenever humans spoke passionately about their artistic traditions. Performances organized by Earth's delegation grew smaller, attended mostly by aliens driven by curiosity or amusement rather than genuine interest. Inside Earth's embassy, the atmosphere darkened considerably. Actors, playwrights, filmmakers, initially proud ambassadors of Earth's culture, began questioning their own relevance in this alien society. Confidence wavered, morale sank, and debates erupted internally over whether they should even continue promoting their heritage. Yet Ambassador Lin refused to surrender. Privately, she addressed Earth's delegation, reminding them why they were here. "We must remain patient," she argued passionately. "The galaxy may not yet understand what we offer, but if we lose faith in ourselves, we'll fail not just them, but ourselves as well." David Carver agreed, though his optimism was increasingly strained. Helena is right. It may take time, but our persistence, our stories, will eventually earn their respect. It was a fragile hope, overshadowed by continuous alien dismissals and insults. Even Alexandra Reeves, whose confidence usually inspired others, privately confessed doubt. "Maybe our stories don't mean anything here," she whispered one night, her voice shaking with frustration. "Maybe they were right about us." Ambassador Lin placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "No, Alexandra, our stories matter. They're what make us human, and we must hold on to that. Someday they'll see, when they need us." Even as she spoke, Helena secretly feared such a day might never come. After all, the galaxies seemed secure, confident, even arrogant in their technological mastery. What need could they possibly have for humanity's seemingly trivial skills? Yet beneath their confident facades, she saw cracks, subtle vulnerabilities, invisible to the Ascendancy's powerful civilizations but clear to human eyes, trained by millennia of storytelling to recognize hidden tensions and secret fears. Perhaps, Helena thought darkly, it would take a crisis to reveal humanity's value. For now, Earth's delegation endured quietly, carrying their stories like embers in a storm, waiting, hoping, and believing their time would come, even if the galaxy mocked them relentlessly. Quietly and subtly, darkness crept into the Galactic Ascendancy. At first, it manifested as little more than whispers and rumors, isolated incidents reported from distant sectors, disputes that seemed trivial, political tensions flaring without clear reason, sudden mistrust between civilizations previously united. But over time, these isolated disturbances blossomed into something far more troubling. It became clear to Ambassador Helena Lynn, and indeed to all who dared look closely, that the Ascendancy, despite its technological prowess and grandiose ideals, was no longer safe. The shift first became obvious during a routine council session. Delegates gathered in the enormous crystalline amphitheater, illuminated by pale blue, ethereal lighting. The Ascendancy had always projected an air of serene authority, but today the hall was filled with nervous murmurs, anxious glances, and whispered accusations. Ambassador Lin observed quietly from Earth's assigned balcony, flanked by David Carver and Alexander Reeves. Together, they watched as the usually composed delegates exchanged heated words. Ambassador Drell of the Grass Dominion accused Ambassador Qualon of sabotaging critical trade routes. In return, Qualon, normally calm and collected, angrily claimed the Grass had violated neutral space agreements. "What's happening?" Alexandra whispered, leaning toward Helena, who narrowed her eyes thoughtfully. "I don't know," Helena replied, keeping her voice low, "but this isn't normal. Something, or someone, is deliberately destabilizing them." Before the argument could escalate further, Supreme Chancellor Varela, a wise elder from the ancient Arvith species, called for silence. The chamber quieted immediately, though the tension remained palpable. Varela's voice, once soothing, now carried urgency. "Ambassadors," she declared, her voice resonating across the chamber, "these tensions threaten everything we have built. We've seen evidence of sabotage, espionage, and internal division within several member civilizations. Trust is rapidly disintegrating, yet we do not understand why. It appears we face a hidden adversary, an enemy whose identity remains a mystery." A ripple of unease passed through the assembly. Accusatory eyes darted across the hall. Helena could almost feel the fear and suspicion permeating the chamber, thickening with every passing second. Then Ambassador Xylan, representative of the technologically sophisticated Virati Federation, spoke up gravely. Her voice trembled slightly, a chilling indication of just how serious the situation had become. "Chancellor, I must inform this assembly of something disturbing. Recent incidents within the Virati Federation suggest our adversary is not external, but internal." Gasps echoed throughout the room, the implication painfully clear. Allies suspected one another. Trust was already deteriorating, replaced by paranoia. Xylan continued carefully, clearly fearful of provoking panic. "Our intelligence operatives have uncovered infiltration, highly trained spies capable of assuming identities flawlessly. These infiltrators have successfully destabilized entire sectors of our Federation from within. Our security measures have utterly failed to detect or stop them." Supreme Chancellor Varela nodded solemnly. "We, too, have found similar infiltration among the Arvith. Our surveillance methods, once believed infallible, are useless against this enemy. Whoever they are, they have mastered deception beyond anything we've previously encountered." Ambassador Drell slammed a heavy fist onto his platform, his voice echoing angrily. "Then identify them. How can we fight what we cannot see?" What is the source of these infiltrations? Varela raised her delicate, translucent hands, quieting the chamber again. Our analysis suggests only one possible identity for such skilled deceivers, the Kyrathi. A profound silence fell, deeper and more chilling than anything Helena had ever witnessed. She glanced at David, who shared her confusion. Alexandra spoke softly, questioning, "Who are the Kyrathi?" Helena replied grimly, recalling her diplomatic briefings. A race believed extinct, masters of deception, espionage, and psychological warfare. They nearly destabilized the Ascendancy centuries ago, defeated only at great cost. Everyone thought they'd been eradicated. Supreme Chancellor Varela confirmed this dark history. We believed the Kyrathi destroyed, yet clearly they survived in secret, rebuilding their strength. Now they have returned, determined to dismantle us from within. Our methods, strategies, and technologies are helpless against foes capable of flawlessly mimicking any form and manipulating minds with absolute precision. Helena's pulse quickened. Despite humanity's marginalization, this threat struck a nerve. Humanity's cultural obsession with drama, deception, and hidden truths had prepared them uniquely for understanding such a threat. Alexandra exchanged a knowing look with Helena, recognition dawning simultaneously in their eyes. Earth had warned the Ascendancy before, yet no one had listened. Across the chamber, fear quickly shifted to desperation. Delegates openly argued, blaming one another for failing to detect such infiltration earlier. Accusations flew wildly. Trust shattered further, exactly as the Kyrathi intended. Supreme Chancellor Varela attempted to restore calm. "Ambassadors, we must unite, not fracture, in the face of this enemy. Our only hope lies in finding a new strategy." Helena felt a growing urgency, something nudging at the edge of her consciousness. A realization that humanity, overlooked and mocked for their storytelling traditions, might hold the key to surviving this crisis. David leaned close, whispering urgently, "Helena, this is exactly what we've tried explaining to them. Our entire culture is built upon understanding deception and hidden truths. We're experts at seeing beyond appearances." Alexandra nodded eagerly. "We might be the only ones who understand how to combat an enemy that relies entirely on disguise and psychological manipulation." Helena hesitated, her heart racing with a mixture of hope and dread. Would the Ascendancy even listen after dismissing Earth's contributions so harshly? Could humanity now make themselves heard clearly enough to save their skeptical allies? The session ended without clear solutions. Ambassadors dispersed, fearful and suspicious, retreating to their embassies and homeworlds, determined to secure their civilizations first. Divisions grew, exactly as the Kyrathi planned, leaving humanity isolated yet acutely aware of the opportunity before them. Back at Earth's embassy, Helena faced her delegation: actors, playwrights, spies, artists. Despite their recent humiliation, determination returned. Alexandra spoke first, voice strong and certain. "This crisis proves exactly why our culture matters. They need our help, whether they know it or not." Helena smiled grimly. "You're right, but we have to convince them quickly, before the Kyrathi tear the Ascendancy apart entirely." She glanced out the embassy's panoramic window, watching the galactic capital shining brightly, yet filled now with sinister shadows. Humanity's chance to demonstrate their true worth had finally arrived, born not from acceptance, but from necessity. It was time, Helena knew, to step forward onto a darker stage, where deception ruled, and only humanity understood the script. As fear and suspicion spread through the Galactic Ascendancy, Ambassador Helena Lynn found herself in the midst of a profound irony. Humanity, whose storytelling and cultural traditions had been mocked relentlessly as trivial and useless, now possessed precisely the skill set that could save the galaxy from collapsing under the Kyrathi infiltration. One evening, Ambassador Lin received an unexpected summons to the Ascendancy's central diplomatic hub, the Tower of Concord. She arrived with David Carver and Alexandra Reeves by her side, unsure what awaited them. The towering structure, once a symbol of galactic unity and strength, now radiated uncertainty, reflecting the Ascendancy's inner turmoil. Guards escorted them swiftly through silent corridors, tension evident in their rigid postures. Finally, they reached an elegantly furnished meeting room at the tower's apex, where Supreme Chancellor Varela waited alongside a handful of anxious delegates. Ambassador Qualan of the Lorentz Collective, Ambassador Drell of the Grass Dominion, and Ambassador Zylan of the Varadi Federation sat grimly around a polished obsidian table, clearly uneasy. Ambassador Lin, Varela greeted quietly, acknowledging the human delegation with uncharacteristic humility. "Please sit. We must speak openly." Helena exchanged cautious glances with her companions before sitting, sensing the gravity of the moment. The powerful delegates, once openly disdainful, now stared at them with undisguised desperation. Varela wasted no time. "Ambassador Lin, as you are aware, our security systems and intelligence networks have failed catastrophically. We are infiltrated by the Kyrathi, shape-shifting spies whose talents in deception, manipulation, and sabotage surpass anything we can counter." Helena nodded solemnly. "We understand, Chancellor. Humanity has been watching closely." Ambassador Drell, once dismissive of humanity's culture, now spoke urgently, his reptilian features twisted in frustration. "Earth's delegation has repeatedly claimed expertise in deception, storytelling, and manipulation. Skills that once appeared trivial are now precisely what we require." Qualan interjected sharply, yet respectfully, a clear shift from his earlier condescension. "Your species seems uniquely capable of understanding duplicity, reading subtle cues, and unraveling deceit. We, regrettably, must ask humanity for help." Ambassador Lin suppressed a flicker of satisfaction, carefully maintaining diplomatic composure. "You dismissed those skills before, Ambassador Qualan. Why trust us now?" Ambassador Zylan leaned forward, her elegant Varadi form tense with anxiety. "We mocked you because we misunderstood the nature of your storytelling. We saw only amusement and emotional indulgence. But now we realize your stories train you to detect hidden intentions, anticipate betrayal, and confront deception. Your culture uniquely equips you against the Kyrathi threat." David Carver exchanged a triumphant glance with Alexandra Reeves. This acknowledgement, though overdue, was everything humanity had hoped for since first arriving in the Ascendancy. Helena took a measured breath before responding. "We will help, Chancellor, but understand this clearly. Storytelling isn't trivial. It's strategic. It teaches us empathy, caution, manipulation, and detection. Humans have trained for millennia in navigating lies and deception precisely because our stories reflect life's hidden complexities." Varela inclined her head gracefully. "We admit our error. Now, Ambassador Lin, we must ask openly, how can your people assist us?" Helena exchanged meaningful looks with Alexandra and David, who nodded encouragingly. "Humanity can deploy specialists, actors, storytellers, filmmakers, spies, who could devise elaborate narratives specifically designed to identify and capture Kyrathi infiltrators. We'll establish scenarios the Kyrathi can't resist, enticing them into revealing themselves." Ambassador Drell looked skeptical, confusion etched across his scaled features. "You propose fictional traps? Dramas? How can false narratives uncover the truth?" Alexandra Reeves stepped forward, her commanding presence immediately drawing attention. "Drama and fiction aren't mere fabrications. They're mirrors. The Kyrathi rely on deception to hide in plain sight, exploiting trust and predictability. But humans are experts at crafting illusions compelling enough to reveal even the most cautious deceiver. We'll set the stage, control the narrative, and expose them through their own manipulation." Supreme Chancellor Varela considered this carefully, her ancient eyes shining with renewed hope. then humanity will assume leadership of our intelligence efforts against the Kyrathi. Ambassador Lin, you will have full authority to coordinate this operation." Helena nodded firmly, feeling immense pride and responsibility. "We'll require unrestricted access to intelligence networks, security clearances, and complete cooperation from all Ascendancy members." "Granted," Varela replied without hesitation. "All resources are at your disposal." Immediately, Helena mobilized Earth's delegation. Intelligence specialists began collaborating closely with playwrights, screenwriters, actors, and directors, blending espionage tactics seamlessly with theatrical craft. Within days, Earth's embassy transformed into a bustling command center, filled with holographic scenarios, intricate narrative strategies, and detailed psychological profiles of suspected infiltrators. Actors rehearsed elaborate cover identities, trained to embody fictional personas flawlessly. Directors choreographed precise interactions designed to lure infiltrators into exposing themselves, each storyline carefully calculated to exploit Kyrathi weaknesses. Playwrights crafted narratives infused with subtle provocations, moral dilemmas, emotional vulnerabilities, intricate lies that no Kyrathi could resist. Yet skepticism lingered. Ambassador Qualan observed rehearsals skeptically, questioning the practicality of such methods. "How can you trust fictional scenarios to catch spies who've already deceived our most advanced security?" Helena responded confidently. "The Kyrathi infiltrate by exploiting logical systems, predictable behaviors, and known protocols. But our stories defy predictability. Humans thrive on uncertainty, misdirection, and nuance. Exactly the things the Kyrathi aren't prepared for. They rely on structured deception. Our improvisation, creativity, and unpredictability are precisely what they can't anticipate." Alexandra agreed passionately. "Ambassador Qualan, deception thrives on predictability. But human storytelling is fluid, chaotic even. The Kyrathi will find themselves pulled into narratives they cannot fully control. And when they try, they expose themselves," Qualan concluded, finally grasping humanity's brilliance. Soon, Ascendancy agents began training alongside humans, learning improvisational acting techniques, deception detection strategies, and psychological manipulation. Where once aliens had mocked human methods as primitive amusements, they now studied storytelling techniques with earnest intensity, humbled by humanity's unique perspective. As days passed, tension slowly turned to cautious optimism. Early tests of humanity's approach succeeded spectacularly. On several Ascendancy worlds, Kyrathi agents, overconfident and unprepared for humans' cunning scenarios, were uncovered and captured, their elaborate disguises unraveling dramatically. Ambassador Lin, once mocked, was now revered. Earth's delegation had demonstrated decisively that humanity's cultural traditions were not trivial amusements but essential strategic tools. Helena, however, knew their work had only just begun. The Kyrathi, though momentarily surprised, would adapt quickly. A larger conflict loomed ahead, requiring humanity's deepest creativity and resilience. Yet, as she stood overlooking the bustling embassy, Helena felt profound pride. Humanity's true strength had been acknowledged at last. Not technology, nor brute strength, but creativity, storytelling, and deception itself. The Ascendancy had finally understood Earth's curious talent. Now, Helena knew it was time to put on the greatest performance humanity had ever attempted, one that could decide the fate of the galaxy itself. The transformation within Earth's embassy was nothing short of extraordinary. Actors and intelligence operatives, playwrights, and espionage specialists all collaborated seamlessly, forming perhaps the galaxy's first-ever theatrical espionage agency. Ambassador Helena Lin watched proudly as rehearsals took place, each carefully orchestrated to deceive, misdirect, and ultimately expose the Kyrathi infiltrators. Every corner of the embassy buzzed with activity. The central briefing room resembled a theater director's workshop more than a military command center. Digital projections displayed intricate scripts, psychological profiles, and elaborate scenarios designed to trap infiltrators through sophisticated narrative manipulation. Operatives rehearsed cover identities relentlessly, learning to improvise seamlessly to maintain authenticity under scrutiny. The Ascendancy's other civilizations, initially skeptical, gradually grew fascinated with the operation. Ambassadors like Qualan and Drell, previously dismissive, now observed rehearsals closely, intrigued by the power of storytelling and roleplay. Even the stoic Ambassador Xylan of the Kyrathi Federation openly praised humanity's ingenuity, acknowledging their crucial role in this unprecedented interstellar conflict. Soon, the first major counter-infiltration scenario was ready, a daring plan known as Operation Masquerade. It revolved around a fabricated diplomatic crisis, rumors of a secret alliance forming between the Kyrathi Federation and the Grass Dominion. This scenario was deliberately seeded to provoke Kyrathi infiltrators into taking risks, exposing themselves while attempting to sabotage a non-existent threat. The scenario began in the Ascendancy's Grand Pavilion, carefully orchestrated by Alexandra Reeves, Earth's leading actor-turned-spy. Alexandra herself assumed a pivotal role, posing as a high-level Kyrathi diplomat, convincingly altering her mannerisms, speech patterns, and even physiological cues with sophisticated human-designed holographic disguise technology. Her performance was flawless, carefully calculated to project subtle vulnerability and suspicion, enticing infiltrators into seeing her as a target. Ambassador Lin, watching via hidden cameras, marveled at Alexandra's mastery of deception. Nearby, Ambassador Qualan quietly expressed astonishment, humbled by witnessing firsthand how deeply humanity understood psychological manipulation. The Kyrathi infiltrators quickly took the bait. As anticipated, Alexandra was approached covertly during a diplomatic gathering by an ambassador who perfectly mimicked Ambassador Drell's features and mannerisms. Kyrathi spies relied on flawless imitations, confidently exploiting others' trust. But humans, trained by generations of storytelling and drama, saw through subtler imperfections, an overly rehearsed phrase, slightly too deliberate gestures, or carefully masked emotional responses. Alexandra immediately recognized the deception, subtly alerting Helena through prearranged signals. Rather than confronting the infiltrator directly, Alexandra's performance deepened, drawing the Kyrathi agent further into the fabricated crisis. She fed him carefully scripted misinformation, subtly provoking him into revealing details about the Kyrathi's larger strategy. As Alexandra manipulated the infiltrator, David Carver coordinated Earth's other operatives, ensuring their meticulously rehearsed roles supported her scenario flawlessly. The embassy's command center observed closely, impressed and astonished by the precision and confidence humans demonstrated while improvising to counter the Kyrathi's adaptations. Ultimately, the Kyrathi agent fully revealed himself, inadvertently exposing a larger network of infiltrators embedded deeply within the Ascendancy's diplomatic corps. The instant the infiltrator moved to transmit stolen intelligence, hidden operatives neutralized him swiftly, decisively ending the deception. The success of Operation Masquerade shook the Ascendancy to its core. Ambassadors previously skeptical of humanity's tactics expressed newfound admiration openly. Supreme Chancellor Varela praised Earth's ingenuity before the assembled council, acknowledging humanity's cultural expertise as essential to the Ascendancy's survival. With each subsequent operation, humanity's reputation grew. Across the Ascendancy, the Kyrathi found themselves increasingly entangled in humans' sophisticated narrative traps, deception so cleverly devised that the Kyrathi themselves became unsure what was real and what was fiction. Yet the Kyrathi adapted, their infiltrators becoming more cautious, more cunning. To counteract this shift, Ambassador Lin authorized even more daring operations. Earth's playwrights and intelligence analysts collaborated closely, developing nuanced, psychologically complex scenarios tailored specifically to exploit Kyrathi fears, ambitions, and vulnerabilities. One such scenario, dubbed the Phantom Alliance, proved especially effective. It involved an elaborate deception portraying a hidden coalition secretly plotting a preemptive strike against the Kyrathi homeworld. Earth operatives skillfully planted clues, leaked false intelligence, and staged confrontations between fictional factions, all convincingly portrayed by trained actors and spies. As Kyrathi infiltrators desperately scrambled to confirm or debunk this fabricated threat, their actions became reckless, allowing humanity's network of observers to trace infiltration paths, exposing spies hidden across multiple star systems. Each Kyrathi agent captured provided valuable intelligence, unraveling deeper layers of their conspiracy. But humanity's most remarkable achievement was teaching the Ascendancy's own intelligence officers how to utilize Earth's techniques. Aliens from dozens of worlds eagerly learned human acting methods, how to embody fictional identities convincingly, analyze deception through subtle behavioral cues, and manipulate infiltrators through carefully orchestrated psychological pressures. Ambassadors who once dismissed human storytelling now regularly attended workshops taught by Earth's playwrights and actors, humbled by their newfound appreciation for the arts. Even Ambassador Drell, the Grass Dominion's stubborn diplomat, openly admitted to Ambassador Lin, "Your people have shown us the true power hidden in the art we so foolishly dismissed." Yet, as Earth's counter-infiltration theater thrived, Ambassador Lin knew the struggle wasn't over. Though victorious in numerous engagements, the Kyrathi remained formidable. Their leaders, enraged by humanity's successes, intensified their efforts, vowing vengeance. Earth's delegation understood their greatest test still lay ahead. A confrontation against the Kyrathi's elite, masters of deception whose cunning exceeded all others. Ambassador Lin called a meeting within the embassy's bustling command center, now a hub of strategy, storytelling, and espionage. Alexandra Reeves, David Carver, and dozens of other operatives, actors, and strategists awaited her guidance. Helena addressed them passionately. "We've proven to the galaxy what humanity is capable of, turning storytelling into survival. Now, we face our most dangerous performance yet. The Kyrathi elite will soon act, desperate to dismantle our operations. They'll employ every deception they know. But our strength is imagination, creativity, unpredictability, the very things they cannot replicate." Alexandra, confidence blazing, replied, "Then we'll give them a performance so extraordinary they'll never see the truth hidden beneath." The room erupted into cheers, determination surging through humanity's delegation. They had taught the galaxy the power of their culture, storytelling as survival itself. Now it was time to face the Kyrathi's final, desperate act. Ambassador Lin watched proudly as Earth's people prepared themselves, driven by passion, confidence, and newfound respect from their galactic allies. They had transformed their once-mocked culture into the galaxy's greatest weapon. And soon, the Ascendancy would witness humanity's greatest masterpiece yet. The Kyrathi's retaliation came swiftly, precisely, and mercilessly. Their infiltration methods evolved rapidly, becoming subtler and even more cunning. The Galactic Ascendancy, despite Earth's recent victories, once again found itself teetering on the brink. Ambassador Helena Lin knew the Kyrathi were preparing their decisive strike, an attack so complex, layered, and deceptive that it would test humanity's newfound strategies to their absolute limits. Intelligence reached Earth's embassy, indicating the Kyrathi planned their final, ambitious infiltration directly within the Galactic Council itself. Their aim was clear: destroy the fragile unity humanity had painstakingly rebuilt, shattering trust and plunging the galaxy into chaos. It was a desperate gambit, but potentially devastating if successful. Ambassador Lin urgently convened Earth's team, gathering Alexandra Reeves, David Carver, and the most skilled actors, playwrights, and intelligence experts humanity had to offer. The room fell silent as she outlined the threat. The Kyrathi intend to sabotage the Council directly, manipulating ambassadors into open conflict. They'll exploit existing tensions, disguising their agents as prominent ascendancy leaders. Our job is not just to stop them, but to trap them so thoroughly that their infiltration fails spectacularly. David Carver, now deeply involved in planning these operations, leaned forward eagerly. Then we craft the most ambitious deception yet. A multi-layered narrative so enticing that the Kyrathi elite can't resist engaging. Helena nodded firmly, pride swelling at humanity's boldness. Exactly. We turn their own methods against them, crafting illusions within illusions, plots inside plots. Each twist will force them deeper into scenarios they think they control, until they're trapped by their own confidence. Alexandra Reeves stood thoughtfully, excitement evident. We'll stage a scenario too tempting to ignore. A supposed ascendancy civil war, fabricated yet utterly convincing. The Kyrathi agents will rush in, desperate to exploit the chaos. The plan rapidly took shape. Earth's team, collaborating tirelessly, developed a narrative intricate enough to rival humanity's greatest literature. They named this final gambit Operation Mirror's Edge, symbolizing deception so subtle and intricate that reality and illusion blended seamlessly. As preparations advanced, Earth's operatives embedded themselves deeply within the Galactic Council, assuming roles carefully tailored to provoke the Kyrathi. Alexandra again took the central role, portraying a prominent ambassador rumored to secretly plot against Supreme Chancellor Varela. Carefully staged confrontations and leaked false intelligence began circulating within diplomatic circles. Predictably, Kyrathi infiltrators took the bait. Believing they had finally found the perfect opportunity, they activated their deep cover agents, intent on amplifying chaos. For days, carefully scripted arguments erupted openly among council ambassadors, watched anxiously by the Ascendancy civilizations. The Kyrathi infiltrators reveled in their perceived success, believing humanity outmaneuvered. Yet beneath this visible drama lay humanity's true trap. Alexandra's performance subtly lured Kyrathi agents closer, convincing them they alone possessed the advantage. Earth's operatives maintained careful surveillance, waiting patiently for infiltrators to reveal their identities. Each movement, gesture, and word was monitored, analyzed, and carefully manipulated by human playwrights and spies. At the climactic session of the Galactic Council, humanity staged the grand finale. Alexandra, fully immersed in character, publicly accused Supreme Chancellor Varela of being compromised by the Kyrathi. Delegates gasped, shock rippling through the chamber. Supreme Chancellor Varela herself reacted with authentic outrage, an emotion carefully rehearsed alongside Earth's actors to project genuine believability. Immediately, Kyrathi agents saw their moment, revealing themselves in coordinated unison, assuming forms of trusted ambassadors and even the Supreme Chancellor herself. They openly declared their presence, believing their infiltration complete and unstoppable. But humanity had anticipated precisely this move. At Alexandra's subtle signal, Earth's carefully hidden security forces sprang into action, instantly sealing the chamber. Simultaneously, holographic technology activated, projecting multiple layers of identical disguises, mirroring every delegate in the hall. The Kyrathi, utterly confused, found themselves surrounded by duplicates, unable to discern ally from enemy. In the ensuing chaos, Alexandra Reeves stepped forward confidently, abandoning her false identity. "Your deception is impressive," she declared firmly, her voice echoing powerfully throughout the chamber. "But humanity has perfected this art through countless generations. Your flaw was assuming deception could be mastered by imitation alone. True deception requires imagination, something the Kyrathi lack entirely." Stunned and disoriented, Kyrathi infiltrators faltered, unable to maintain their carefully rehearsed personas. Earth's operatives, moving swiftly, easily identified and captured each infiltrator, their disguises unraveling rapidly. Supreme Chancellor Varela, now genuinely proud of humanity's strategic brilliance, applauded openly, signaling the Ascendancy's restoration of unity. In a matter of moments, humanity's meticulously staged deception had unraveled the Kyrathi's most cunning infiltration effort, leaving their forces shattered and leaderless. Ambassador Lin, stepping forward, addressed the council with renewed authority. The Kyrathi's infiltration is over. But remember, this victory was possible only because humanity understood that deception, drama, and storytelling are not mere amusements. They're survival tools, methods of navigating complexity and uncertainty. Today, humanity has shown the Ascendancy that truth. Cheers erupted spontaneously across the chamber. Delegates from civilizations who once mocked Earth's culture now applauded, openly celebrating humanity's unparalleled creativity and resilience. Ambassador Qualan offered a respectful nod toward Helena, acknowledging his earlier ignorance. Ambassador Drell, previously arrogant and dismissive, publicly praised humanity's bravery and cunning, humbled by their undeniable contribution to galactic security. As Earth's delegation regrouped afterward, Alexandra approached Ambassador Lin with a knowing smile. Did we just pull off the greatest theatrical performance in history? Helena smiled warmly. We did, thanks to all of you. We taught an entire galaxy the true meaning of storytelling, its survival itself. The Ascendancy, once dismissive of humanity, now saw clearly the extraordinary value of Earth's unique cultural gifts. Yet Ambassador Lin knew the greatest challenge still lay ahead, ensuring the galaxy never again underestimated the power humanity possessed. With the Kyrathi defeated, humanity had proven conclusively that survival was storytelling, and storytelling was strength. Earth's greatest performance had succeeded brilliantly, but Helena understood the future demanded even greater imagination, courage, and creativity. As Earth's delegates celebrated their victory, Ambassador Lin stood proudly, gazing toward the infinite stars stretching endlessly above. The galaxy's next chapters awaited writing, and humanity, the galaxy's greatest storytellers, now held the pen. With the Kyrathi threat dismantled, a new era began within the Galactic Ascendancy. Humanity, once belittled and misunderstood, emerged respected, honored, and essential. Earth's victory resonated far beyond espionage or military triumph. It represented a profound shift in understanding among countless civilizations, a realization that storytelling, acting, and theater were not trivial amusements but powerful, indispensable tools for survival, unity, and progress. In the aftermath of humanity's triumph, Ambassador Helena Lin watched as Earth's cultural traditions spread swiftly across the Ascendancy. Alien ambassadors who once viewed drama and storytelling as primitive now eagerly embraced these arts. Ascendancy worlds soon filled with theaters, cinemas, and storytelling academies, inspired by humanity's creativity, ingenuity, and courage. Human artists, actors, and writers found themselves celebrated as esteemed teachers, spreading knowledge of empathy, subtlety, and psychological insight across hundreds of worlds. Ambassador Qualan himself became a passionate advocate of humanity's cultural traditions, frequently praising Earth's ingenuity during Galactic Council sessions. Ambassador Drell, once dismissive, now regularly hosted theatrical performances at the Grass Dominion's embassy, openly admitting his former ignorance. Even Supreme Chancellor Varela publicly recognized humanity's immense contribution, granting Earth permanent seats in key positions across Ascendancy committees devoted to cultural exchange, security, and diplomacy. The Kyrathi conflict reshaped the Ascendancy profoundly, not simply by defeating a deadly enemy, but by revealing the limitations of pure logic and technology devoid of imagination. Civilizations that prided themselves solely on their scientific prowess began rediscovering emotions, subtlety, and art, guided enthusiastically by human storytellers and actors. Even technologically advanced societies, such as the Kyrathi Federation, began integrating theatrical training into diplomatic and intelligence training, acknowledging that emotional intuition was as crucial as rational logic. Humanity's victory sparked unprecedented cultural exchange, with Earth's dramas, novels, films, and operas celebrated across countless worlds. Shakespeare's tragedies became essential diplomatic studies, while classic human films like Casablanca or The Godfather were widely admired as masterpieces exploring loyalty, deception, honor, and betrayal, concepts that deeply resonated throughout the Ascendancy. Ambassador Lin frequently marveled at how quickly Earth's cultural footprint expanded. One evening, while attending a gala hosted by Supreme Chancellor Varela, Helena smiled as alien ambassadors passionately discussed character arcs, dramatic irony, and narrative complexity, terms unheard of before Earth's arrival. David Carver approached Helena, amused and proud. "Would you ever have believed this possible, Ambassador Lin? The galaxy debating Shakespeare?" Helena chuckled warmly. "It's everything we dreamed, and more. Humanity hasn't just found acceptance. We've changed the galaxy profoundly, simply by being ourselves." Nearby, Alexandra Reeves, now considered a galactic cultural hero, delightedly recounted her experiences training alien diplomats in improvisational acting techniques. She smiled at Helena warmly, gratitude evident. "This galaxy has learned something extraordinary, something humanity always knew, that storytelling is about more than entertainment. It connects us deeply, teaches empathy, and reveals truths beyond mere fact." Supreme Chancellor Varela, overhearing Alexandra's words, joined them graciously. "Indeed, Ambassador Reeves, humanity has gifted the Ascendancy something precious: understanding. Your species taught us that power comes not just from strength, technology, or intellect, but from imagination, creativity, and storytelling itself. You've shown us new ways to think, understand, and survive." The Chancellor's genuine admiration deeply touched Helena, who bowed respectfully. "Thank you, Chancellor. Humanity always believed stories had power. Our ancestors used storytelling to pass down wisdom, warnings, and guidance. We simply reminded the Ascendancy of something it had forgotten." Varela nodded solemnly. "Precisely. The Kyrathi nearly defeated us because we ignored imagination. Your people, Ambassador Lin, gave us back something we desperately needed: hope, creativity, and perspective." Helena gazed around the hall, watching countless species engage in lively conversations, sharing stories freely, no longer skeptical, but inspired. Earth's culture now connected civilizations in ways technology alone never could. It had become the galaxy's common language. Yet Ambassador Lin understood humanity's responsibilities had only begun. Earth now held influence far exceeding its modest technological capabilities, respected deeply for the power of imagination. This newfound respect required careful stewardship. Helena quietly vowed humanity would always use storytelling responsibly, not merely as entertainment or manipulation, but to unite, teach empathy, and guide the galaxy wisely through challenges yet to come. As the gala concluded, Ambassador Lin stood, gazing upward into the dazzling expanse above the galactic capital, her heart filled with immense pride. Once ridiculed, humanity's storytelling traditions had become the Ascendancy's brightest star. Earth's true strength lay precisely in the thing once mocked: creativity, imagination, and the power to dream beyond immediate reality. Walking slowly from the gala, accompanied by David and Alexandra, Helena reflected thoughtfully on humanity's journey. Earth's delegation had arrived hoping merely for acceptance. Yet now humanity inspired entire civilizations, teaching them lessons forged by thousands of years of human culture. David glanced thoughtfully at Helena. "Do you think the galaxy will remember this lesson?" Helena smiled gently. "Yes, but only if we remind them, constantly and carefully. Humanity's stories have always been our greatest teachers. Now, they teach the stars themselves." Alexandra, confident and optimistic as ever, nodded passionately. "Then humanity's mission is clear. We must always keep telling stories. After all, storytelling isn't trivial, it's essential. It's survival itself." Ambassador Lin felt a swell of determination. Alexandra was right. Humanity's future lay in telling ever greater stories, narratives that would inspire civilizations, bridge galaxies, and guide entire species toward compassion, creativity, and hope. Earth's greatest triumph had not merely defeated an enemy. It had changed the galaxy forever, teaching countless civilizations that storytelling truly meant survival. Together, humanity would keep telling stories. And the galaxy would listen closely, grateful forever that humanity had taught them how to survive, not through war, strength, or technology, but through imagination itself. Helena Lynn smiled warmly at her companions, stepping forward into the infinite possibilities of the galaxy beyond, knowing humanity's greatest stories still lay ahead, ready to inspire, unite, and lead the universe into a brighter, more creative future.